what people like you will do is that they'll talk about like the Doge number, right? And what many news agencies report, they'll put the Doge number. So that's like 115 billion, I think, by now. If you can take a look at the Doge wall of receipts, right? They got a website. Oh, it's the debt clock. But you can take a look at the Doge wall of receipts. They do have a website. And 115 billion. That is not a believable number. It's not, right? Because
why?
Because of all the errors that I'm talking about. So these are what they're reporting, but there's no at this point there's no reason to believe that. Now there's others.
You're saying that the Department of Government Efficiency is not efficient at all.
Indeed, I'd say that, right? Now there's another website, right, that you can also take a look called Doge Tracker Muskwatch. I can get you the URL if you need it.
I think it.
Doge.muskwatch.com. Indeed, yeah.
Muskwatch.
Yeah, take a look. All right.
Gotta watch out for President Musk, you know.
Yeah. So this takes a look, and it looks at what's actually verified, like verified savings here, right? And it compares that to grants. Sometimes grants can't be verified, but this is actually doing the comparison. You can go down to, like, let's say, like the first USAID one, right? Like, right, that large bar, like in the lower half, right? Look at, put the cursor back on the bar, right? And there you go, right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so it says what Doge...
$244 million.
Yeah, the actual, the overestimated savings, right? So it shows the... what Doge says it's saved and then what's actually saved. Now, this is an interesting website that I actually just discovered.
Wait, hold on. Let's look at this website real quick. All right.
Let's do that.
So the last one. You go back to the last website if you don't mind real quick. All right. So this says $115, $714.
You want to talk? You're missing the mic.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So it says 115 billion saved, 714.29 per taxpayer. Let's go to this other site here. Back to the one that we were just on, if you don't mind. All right. So on this one, what's crazy to me is when we look at these things, right? We have at the bottom, you had the 254 million that was like not verified, is what you just said, I guess, what you had pulled up. And we have verified cancel 8.6 and 29.9. What's interesting to me is when Dems talk about taxing people, right? They're like, oh, we got to tax the billionaires. These are the ones we got. This is terrible. But when Doge makes these kind of cuts that actually save taxpayers hundreds of dollars every year, now we sit here and scream, "Ree!"
Okay, but it doesn't actually do it. So
what do you mean it doesn't?
So I'm going to ignore it. You don't know what you're saying.
What do you mean?
Right?
If you're doing canceled funding, that's taxpayer dollars being saved. Is that correct? Yes or no?
I'm sorry. Repeat that, please.
So if this is your website's correct, right? Mm-hmm. These are the cuts you admit they've done.
Yeah.
All right. That means that's money that's been saved by the taxpayer that's being spent can be spent more efficiently. Correct?
Hold on. It depends, right? Like, were those things that should have been canceled? Right? We haven't actually established that. We're just assuming that Doge knows what should and shouldn't be canceled. Now, there could be things that you and I agree with, right? I'm sure we can find common ground on contracts.
But you agree, even if they're not something that should be canceled, it would still, in theory, save us money. Correct?
And
I don't care about just saving us money, right? I'm not a conservative. It doesn't matter to me that we simply save money. I want to use that money for like important purposes to actually run the government. Sorry.
I just want to make sure this is clear. It's not necessarily a correction, but when we highlighted USAID cuts showing 244 million, that's actually just one component. That's
one component.
Yeah, that's an O&M. Right. So I just want to make sure everyone understands. Yeah. There's actually a bigger list of all the different USAID cuts. Here's another for 70 million. Here's another for 12 million. And I'm sorry, it's what overstated savings. Oh, okay. So they're saying terminated funding is 351 million. Not wait, what? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, let me clarify. Mm-hmm. Doge is claiming 595 million. They can verify 351 million was terminated. The overestimate was 244. So I read that wrong. Yeah. So the first number on this Musk tracker says. And for USAID, O&M follow-on contract was 350 million saved. Just for example, there are a bunch of other USAID contract cuts. This one, for instance, was 12 million. Another was 70, and another was 9.8.
This is pulling from government databases, right? There's the Doge website, the wall of receipts, right? And on that website, for each of these kinds of contracts, it sends you to what's called the Federal Procurement Data System, right? The FPDS. If you click on one of those, right, you'll have no idea what you're looking at. It's not something designed for like regular like individuals. Like click on the savings part or something. I don't know.
Which one?
Well, why does it matter if it's not designed for regular individuals?
Well, no,
somebody understands.
no, it actually does matter. No, because the point is, people are saying that this has been the epitome of transparency. But actually, if like regular individuals can just look at this and think, I guess this is savings, I guess this works out, right? But they actually can't tell.
Have you met the average person though? They can't tell. They can't tie their shoes. I mean,
but real quick, additionally, we should point out that verified canceled funding and Doge claimed funding, neither are falsifiable. The Doge tracker is saying, here's what we looked at what Elon said. We know this was canceled. That doesn't mean Elon is wrong, lying, or the numbers are not correct.
Okay.
Amen.
Well, you'll see what I'm saying. So click on that, the USAID contract you were looking at before, right? Click on the bar
first
itself.
one?
Yeah. And click the link. So you see the FBDS, right? There's that. That's what you'll find on Doge, right? You'll take a look at this. This is like fucking inscrutable. But also, there's the USA spending website. So if you look at that, right? If you go back to the other one, right? So
Hold on.
Go ahead, take a look.
So this is what the Doge tracker actually linked.
Yeah.
It says that the Doge estimated savings is 595 million, but that's actually only 351 million, and it's claiming 244 is overstated. But when you actually click the link they provide, it says the base and all options value is 596 million.
And exactly, yeah. So if we go to the USA spending, the other link there, all right?
Click for links. I did.
I mean, just while y'all are doing this,
yeah, there you go.
Do you
So
agree
this
that
is a much more
351 million?
No. This is important.
Yeah, this is a much more readable version. So exactly what you're talking about before. There's the other options, right? Those options aren't exercise options.
Well,
so that
says potential award
Yeah,
map.
that's what's actually been, because you have to actually learn to read this. I spent the time to actually learn to read this thing, right? So the current award amount, that's the amount that's already been
verified.
spent. Yeah, right. Yeah, the 556, that's options.
What they were going to get.
If they exercise those options,
And they were gonna.
Were they? Do you know that? So you can have an extension. So you can
You know
sign a
that now?
contract.
So wait, hold
Let's
on,
say,
come on.
You can sign a contract, right? And then you can say, hey, I'm going to extend that contract. I have the options, right, to extend that options multiple times, and I'll get additional money for that. But if you don't extend those
Why
options,
wouldn't they?
because they might not need the money.
Are you joking? I got to be honest. I kind of feel like you tried pulling a fast one.
I didn't try pulling a fast one. Hold on. I'm literally walking you through the website. I'm not pulling
They
a
have
fast
an
one.
option to pull out. I do understand what you're saying, but the idea that an organization that has offered up an additional $250 million would be like, you know what? We decided we don't want it. We're not going to take it.
Never happened in
Fine.
history.
Yeah, it never happened. In
That absolutely happens all the time. What?
You do know that they sell $500 hammers to the Pentagon. This was a big scandal.
Yeah, $13,000.
I am perfectly aware of that. I'm aware the Pentagon doesn't pass audits, right? I'm aware
Marines
that
do.
Is that the Marines,
Marines
do?
Yeah, the Marines passed it on.
We like
That's
the Marines.
crazy.
Yeah, I am aware that the Pentagon gets overcharged all the time, right? And other agencies actually get examined and run in a different manner, right? Like the Social Security Administration doesn't have the same amount of waste and bloat as the Pentagon. We can understand these things are treated
Social
differently.
Security is bloat, but go ahead.
It's not all bloat. I mean, obviously, like this is important. This is a useful.
Hold on. You realize I can't let this one go. Just you know what the Social Security. If I invested my tax dollars that I spent that would go towards Social Security, the same amount exactly in the S&P like fund or a mutual fund, my return would be drastically higher. You understand that, right? Than like what you're getting. So basically, Social Security is boning the average American out of their money. Because you're like.
People don't save that way. We have to actually design a system for people. I wish people.
Wait, why is that our problem? Like,
why is that a problem?
This is
Because
the
I care about a fellow man and woman. That's why.
So do I. But
that's what I'm doing.
This is the difference between, I guess, you and me on this, right? We voted for Doge to come in and clear this stuff out, right? We see these things as wasteful. We see these times. Like, I can't tell you how many times I know people that are working 3 jobs that are going, why am I getting taxed so much? And it's going to pay people that are just, living off the teat of society. And Doge is part of the answer to that. They're going in here clearing stuff out. And even by your numbers, right? Let's just take your numbers at the 351 million mark. That's a ton of money.
Well, hold on. This is interesting. I'm trying to figure out what these phrases actually mean.
There's a glossary that you can check out, right?
So, okay, we'll do that. but just for, let me ask your perspective on this. Current award amount, that means they did give 352 to this organization. Wouldn't that then mean that there is still yet to be paid 250 million?
Not only if they exercise those.
We don't know the terms of the contract, so you can't make that assumption.
Yeah, and
if
they
it
can't
says,
make the assumption either.
If they said if they say currently we have given 350 million to them, the argument would be we didn't actually save 350 million. It's inverted. The Musk tracker has it backwards. Elon Musk saved us $250 million because they've already given 350 million to this organization.
But I'm saying those options haven't been exercised.
That's the savings. So here's the issue.
Don't. Yeah.
Right. So let's put it this way: if an organization, let's just round these numbers up so we make it simple. We'll make it simple. USAID, screw it. Let's just say government organization gives $600 million contract to be paid out. Elon Musk says terminate that contract. They say, okay, we've already given them $350 million. You can't save money that's already given away. However, the remaining 250 that is yet to be dispersed, when the contract is canceled, that 250 stays in the account. If that is correct, it appears, then the number is overstated because Elon is including in the savings money they already gave away.
Yes.
My point is this. The Doge tracker has the number backwards. When it says terminated funding 351 and the overstated savings is 244, that's incorrect. It's...
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Right. So the actual savings is the money we did not give.
I see what you're saying.
The money we already gave is gone.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, I got you.
If that's what it means, otherwise I'm trying to understand, like,
I see what you're saying.
What are they saying here?
Yeah.
Unless it...
Fair enough.
Unless it means the current award amount is the government saying, we will, over the next 10 years, give you $352 million, and then potentially we could give you more, if that's what it means.
Yeah.
So here's what it says. I looked it up. The current award, okay. So your website does have it backwards. It's actually worse. This is a point for you. You should do this. The current award represents the amount that has already been awarded to a recipient. It includes obligated funds, meaning the government has committed to paying this amount under an existing contract or grant. Okay. So it doesn't mean they already gave it. Potential award represents the maximal possible funding that could be awarded over the life of the contract or grant. It includes both the current award amount and any future options, modifications, or extensions that may be exercised. So they did not give the $350 million. The problem then becomes, how much did they give? Did they give $921,000?
Obligated is what they paid. So
okay.
Yeah.
So then I think this is arguing semantics. Elon's going to cite the higher number.
I have a specific example.
No. One second. Just obligated is what's promised, and then over outlay, I think, is actually what's been paid. Overlay, I'm not get that back. I'm just learning this literally last night. But you look through the glossary, and it'll tell you which one's which. So I don't want to give false information, but go ahead.
So yeah, I know I brought this up with you the other day. In San Antonio we're having exactly the situation you just described, Mr. Poole. Is in San Antonio they just shut down a migrant facility, right? It's an overflow facility that's been used twice for like 3 months total, I think, whatever. And it was costing us $15 million a year, and they canceled the contract, right? So it's potential loss or whatever. It was $15 million a year. I think it's 200. So it equals out 215 million total a year, or something around that, and then it equals about 1.1 billion since 2001. And this nonprofit's posting record profits and all sorts of crazy stuff. And so it's gotten bipartisan support locally because it's barely been used and whatnot. And so basically they canceled the contract, and I guess that's potential savings. That fits exactly the criteria you're describing in this kind of case, is where they're going in there cleaning out bloat. Like, this facility isn't being used. Why would we keep funding it?
So when Tim's ready, hopefully he can. Sorry, go ahead.
I think our original assessment of what this was correct. They have not yet okay, so awarded means we signed a deal. So you say to me, if you give me $1 million, I will write a beautiful poem for you.
Yeah.
And then I say, okay, and but I want more than one. And you say, then we'll do this. After the first year, we'll include an option for me to make another poem for you for another $1 million, and then another year we'll do this again. The question is, who has the option rights is the important thing. If the recipient of the funds says, we want the option, that means that money is basically committed. If the U.S. government says, we want the option, which tends to be more likely, in most contract deals, the person paying will say, we want to retain the option to re-up or cancel, as opposed to the person doing the work. So it would seem that the thing about this is obviously Elon's going to stress we saved all of the potential money. But if it was an option held by the government, then I suppose it's semantics. It really is semantics.
I don't know that it is semantics, though, right? So, like, I just brought up that facility, right? So that's $215 million a year, right? It's been used, what, like 6 months since 2001 or 2021, right? It's since 2021. That's $1 billion, right? Okay, if let's just take 6 months out of that, or like 8 months. I don't care. We can take a year out.
Tim, if you could pull up Endeavor's San Antonio, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so that's like 7. Let's just say they take out a full.
What specifically about it?
Okay, it's basically they're spending $15 million a month to keep a cold facility open, and they're saying that's what it costs to open this, like bring it back at any given time. We have to have $15 million a month, whatever. So they shut it down. So that's $215 million a year. Let's just say they had it open, they used it for a full year, which they didn't. But let's just say for
you're talking about the facility that's $18 million per month.
Yeah, $18 million a month. That one, yes. So sorry, I thought so. 15 should be 18. This one, exactly. This one,
right? It was reportedly shut down because of inhumane conditions or something to that effect.
But no, because it wasn't being used.
No, it was shut down because it wasn't being used.
There were numerous. The reason it wasn't being used was because I don't know. This is what I'll look it up. But apparently,
I haven't heard anything about that. I'm local, but I will say
the conditions were considered to be.
Well, that makes it even worse. But I mean, but without even factoring that in, right? Let's just say for it wasn't subpar, and let's just say it was used as it was supposed to be for 1 year, right? Full year, 215. It's like $215 million for a year, right? That's a lot of money to the average taxpayer. And when you save that that's $1 billion in 3 years. Like, you act like $1 billion in 3 years.
Hold on.
For one closing isn't a massive amount.
No. We can't judge these in the sense of an individual's like pocketbook. Yes, all this.
Absolutely.
No, we actually can't, because in all the numbers when we're talking about government are massive. To fund anything, it's a massive amount, right? So that in itself doesn't tell us whether something is worth spending on or not, right? Whether you should cut it or not, right? We actually have to judge these on the utility that's being processed.
Sure, and this is a prime example of waste.
So I don't know. So I'd like to. No, it's not a prime example. So. Tim, I haven't heard about the inhumane.
Let me fact check that. I could.
I'm not sure about that.
I'll wait for that kind of evidence.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.